Hello everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot and Astrology. Okay, so I decided to use Jamie Sawyer's 1909 Rider-Waite-Smith, her redo edition. And what I decided to do also was separate the majors out because I see them as evolutionary gateways. And then on this side, of course, we have all the minors. But I do need to allow for reversals. So if you get dizzy, I mean, I have the camera up really high, but I'm just going to show you the personal way that I prefer to read or adjust for reversals as long as I have the space, and I do. But if this makes you dizzy, just fast forward. You can, if you're on your phone or iPad, or tablet, you can double click and it'll take you 10 seconds forward, but you're probably going to have to do it for a minute. Okay, so my intention is to see which evolutionary gateways he's gone through and maybe successfully overcome, or where he might be stuck. And this is going to wind up being the top row. So Leonard Leo, our friend of the, well, no, I guess vice president of the, or maybe he's not anymore, but I know he used to be the vice president of the Federalist Society. And the dude's like personally responsible for putting a lot of judges on the courts, lower courts, and over the years, I guess, with his friend. Well, let me bring these together first, because I don't want to bring that other guy into this. But I can't pronounce his name. I think it's Bar, or it might be Barre. It's B-A-R-R-E, and then Said. It's S-E-I-D. The dude's in his 90s, but yeah, he's been this like dark money donor for years. I think it was something like $1 million. No, what am I saying? $1.5 billion, or one. It was more than $1.5 billion. With these political donations, and I don't think it's legal because they were, if I remember right, the Federalist Society. Hold on, I have to focus on this guy. The Federalist Society didn't have that type of a tax declaration that would be legal for them to, to do that. So. But these guys, they always just rebrand, right? They start another dark money fund or dark money group, and they call it something else. So I don't know what we're going to do, but something needs to be done. Okay. Leonard Leo. And he is, I looked up his age real quick. I couldn't find a birth, any birth date on him, and I had so much work to do an astrology. I don't want to do that on him. He's not worth it. But you can hit up the other ones that only do astrology and have fun with them. But for this guy, he's 58, so he's at his second Saturn return, which if you don't get your shit together by then, you're not going to have an easy time afterwards. It's a major testing point. Okay, so Leonard Leo, where are you? Oh, man, I can't tell you how much heat is coming through me. He's an angry little dude. Oh, and I heard master manipulator. Okay. Wow. Oh, right there. Okay. So the world reversed. I'll just do this up this way. Oops. And then I'll do the other cards, I think, down here. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so he knows how to work it. Yeah, he knows how to work it. Uh-huh. Yeah. I'll go ahead and do one more. Yeah, okay. Wow. So, all right, so with this world reversed, that means he hasn't made it through he's been working these evolutionary gateways, but he has to keep going back to, start over. The Fool card is usually our card, you can hold it out of the reading if you want, but I wanted to leave it in. But it's when it comes to the gateways, we would leave it out if we're learning tarot, because this is the card that moves through the gateways, right? The fact that this came here in the world, these other, yeah, he's stuck. So, okay, so with the world reversed, our major thing to focus on there, of course, this card is ruled by Saturn. And this has to do with feeling empty inside and just not complete. So on a soul level, he can't make it to his greater spirit, or his greater spirit, I should say, can't flow through him because he's got all this, dark matter over, cresting over the soul. The spirit can't shine through. So there's that. So he has to keep getting on that karmic wheel over and over again. This has been, his thing, his trial. But he's fated. He's fated to remain unhappy. Where's my chopstick? Hold on. He's fated to remain unhappy and still feel, no matter how much money he makes, no matter how many connections he has in his master manipulation, with all of these, scholars and judges and whatever, he's still feeling empty in his soul. And he still hasn't, he knows how to organize reality in a way that, that brings through what he wants. He knows how to create success and stability. But then he's stuck here again when we have the, the Hierophant reversed. He's having major problems with, he's been getting a lot of bad advice, he's been giving a lot of bad advice. And he's a major rebel. He's not, he's not someone that's going to conform to anything. He's the major rebel. And then because of that, he's just this fool, and this fool in these major, traveling through the gateways, has to go back before he can maybe make it to our gateway of mutuality with the laws of love, our card of, balance and harmony within his soul. But he has so much work to do that. And then, of course, our death card reversed is there's no transition. He keeps going back. He's stuck. There's no transition onto the greater reality for that soul. I mean, his spirit is just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting and never giving up, because that's what spirits do. But when it comes to the continued work that needs to be done, free will has to be exercised. So he does know how to do that, and he does know it. The thing here is that he really does know how to do it, but he's refusing, and he's a fool. And so this gateway, there's no way, he's headed away, this would be him, he's headed away towards rebelling and mastering reality, manipulating. And I'm surprised I didn't have the Magician reversed, but this is very telling to have these two reversals. This is the major stagnancy here, and that lack of fulfillment, no matter how much money, how much success, how much so-called respect he thinks he has. So yeah, wow. That death card reversed is rare. That's really challenging. Major stagnancy, feeling stuck, just going to hold on really tight and continue repeating these mistakes. Yeah. He might have made a little bit of progress in one lifetime, but something happened. So anyway, let's get some more details here with the, and if this reading sparks any, any other questions, I don't know. I looked in my library and I didn't have a video on him yet, but I think he's come through in other readings. So anyways, when it comes to follow-up questions on, the future, and I would need to do some research, I imagine, but I could do a Kipper reading on that. For now, this is just his karma. This is only a karmic reading on him. Okay. So I think I'll go ahead and do two cards under each one of these to see what has happened. And of course, the future is pretty much here. The law of cause and effect is the law of karma. So because of all of these gateways he hasn't been able to get through to evolve his soul, these cards will tell us will give us some details. Will tell us why. A little bit of the why. All right, so King of Wands, yeah, Two of Pentacles reversed. That makes sense there. Let me just get them laid out. And then, ooh, yikes. And remember, this is the past. None of this is the future. This is the past and, presently where his soul is. Yikes. Wow. Okay. Oh, it looks like I had plenty of room. All right. Well, here, maybe I can bring the camera down just a little bit. Let's see. Or not the camera, but there. That way you can see a little better, maybe. A little bit with the images. Okay, so bottom line here, under this column, we're dealing with his trying to control people in power and thinking, with the King of Wands, he's like the dude that thinks he's the leader. And he's also, he can be kind of charming and kind of powerful. Is definitely the entrepreneur or whatever you call him. There's that. But with the Two of Pentacles reversed coming through, that has him having a hard time, like he can't keep things balanced. He can't seem to, maybe he even has a hard time committing. And for some reason or another, this can be a card of losing money, because you put your ships out into the water with this one, and you're doing all the juggling and the time management and all of that to bring your ships back home with, maybe an empty ship and a bunch of cash or whatever. But his came through reversed. So this tells me he's been having trouble manipulating the way he actually wanted to. That's kind of hilarious. And then we have the Queen of Wands. So, yeah, this is his fated karma with women who also do his bidding for him. And then with the, this is interesting. So where he has the most fated like karma, what is going on here has to do with manipulating women and younger guys who will just jump on this, bandwagon and do what he wants. People that don't necessarily, they get passionately involved and think that they're on the right track, but this is a lot of fire going on here. And then under the, what do we call the emperor dude, in his leadership, he gets betrayed over and over. And then he has broken relationships. So, because these guys are in control, he's not. And then he rebels. And he puts his hand out and he's looking for more money somewhere else. And then, like Lori calls this card Sneaky Pete, He steals. He's taken cutbacks, or what do you call it? Kickbacks. He's taken his own cut. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then something happens. I think he brings in a little bit of money, because this is all, money here. And then he feels better and keeps going, and he's good and he's satisfied. But then when it comes to balancing out any soul substance, he's extremely hooked back into the past. He has major childhood wounding, maybe some trauma, but then with this Five of Wands reversed, oh, wow. I get the feeling with this part. I mean, when you get to this point, because here's the trauma, here's the childhood wounding, here's the past, here are even gifts and invitations to balance out your soul substance and getting some support to still try and work it through, because that's what Spirit does. But then when we get to this Five of Wands reversed, well, then he might have a little bit of harmony, because he'll acquiesce and do whatever they want, But then again, then here we go to this next gateway, and he is stuck, stagnant, can't go forward, and then he's betraying the best in himself, if he has anything, and that's where he lives. Like he lives, he has heartbreaking events over and over until he'll finally what is it, the come to Jesus moment, when you're on your knees and going, what have I done, when you meet your pain. So for him, it's all about relationship. We can see that here. We can see that here. We've got broken relationships, bad relationships, no healing, stabbed in the back. To have, what do we have here? 21 cards, I suppose? 4, 5, 6, 21 cards out of 78. And we have the two worst cards when it comes to relationships here. This one's awful here. And here are the relationships. These are, kings, emperors, and the people that will passionately do the bidding to get people going. I think, if I remember right, and I don't know her sign, but I thought Kellyanne Conway got some piece of the action to bring Trump in. And of course, any one of these could be Trumpy, because he has that Mars in the first house and Mars in Leo ascendant, which is all, these fire signs here. And, this could be our Mar-a-Lago card, and maybe he's been to Mar-a-Lago, but then there's some betrayal there. Interesting. But this, the Four of Wands is normally, happy events and kind of coming home to yourself. He cannot come home to himself with these cards hanging over. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to get this uploaded, and wishing you guys all the best. Take good care. Bye.